Hi friends, welcome to another lecture. In this series, we'll look what are the ECG changes in various electrolyte abnormalities, that is hyperkalemia or hypokalemia, hypercalcemia or hypocalcemia, and hypermagnesemia or hypomagnesemia. First of all, hyperkalemia is defined as blood potassium levels of more than 5.5 millimoles per liter. These can cause variety of ECG changes ranging from sinus bradycardia to sinus arrest, slow idioventricular rhythms, ventricular tachycardia, ventricular fibrillation, as well as asystole. Now the ECG changes are dependent on the blood potassium levels. In the beginning, there is only tall peak T waves which are seen in the range of 5.5 to 6.5 millimoles. The loss of P waves is seen at the range of 6.5 to 7.5. Widened QRS pattern is seen between 7 to 8, and with blood potassium more than 8 millimoles, there is a sine wave pattern. This is the sine wave. Now these are the ECG changes. As the blood potassium rises, first of all there are tall peaked T waves with normal P waves. Further rise in blood potassium leads to loss of P waves with increase in PR interval. Later, the P waves totally disappear and there is bradycardia. Finally, at levels of more than 8 millimoles, there is development of sine wave pattern along with broad QRS. Now, based on this ECG, let's figure out what must be the potassium levels in the blood of this patient. So, first of all, we have to identify what all changes are seen in this patient. There are tall peaked T waves. Now let us see whether the P waves are present or not. The P waves are present. The QRS is normal and there is no sine wave pattern. So there is only tall peak T waves. So the blood potassium levels must be between 5.5 to 6.5. Now let's come to the second example. Let's identify what must be the blood potassium levels in this patient. There are tall peak T waves along with loss of P waves as well as widened QRS complex and development of sine wave pattern. So this patient must be having potassium levels more than 8 millimoles. Now coming on to hypokalemia, the ECG changes of hypokalemia are exactly opposite to that of hyperkalemia. That is, in hyperkalemia there was flattening of P wave. In hypo there is increased amplitude and width of the P wave. Because the width of this P wave is increasing, therefore the prolongation of PR interval is seen. In hyperkalemia there was peaking of T wave. In hypo there is T wave flattening and inversion along with ST depression. Due to this T wave flattening, the U waves become prominent, and these are best seen in the precordial leads. There is apparent long QT interval, but this is not the QT interval. This is QU interval because there is fusion of T and U waves. So in this ECG, we can see that there is broadening of P wave, increasing of PR interval. There is T wave flattening and inversion as seen in this curve. There is prominent U waves, and since these U waves are falsely seen as T waves, there is prolongation of QT interval. So this is the ECG of a patient of hypokalemia. In this, in the precordial leads, we can see T wave and ST depression, T wave inversion and ST depression, along with prominent U waves and the prolongation of QU interval. QU interval. Now coming to the calcium. The normal calcium levels are 2.2 to 2.7 millimole per liter. If we talk in milligram per deciliter, then the normal is 8 to 11 milligram per deciliter. So the changes in ECG seen with hypercalcemia. These are shortening of QT interval, Osborn waves or J waves, which are seen in severe hypercalcemia, or in extreme hypercalcemia there can be ventricular irritability and ventricular fibrillation. In this central ECG, this is the normal ECG with P wave, QRS complex, ST segment and T wave. In hypercalcemia, there is shortening of the QT interval, and the opposite is seen with hypocalcemia, that is prolongation of QT interval. These are the Osborn waves or J waves. These are seen with hypercalcemia. Now this is the ECG of the patient of hypercalcemia. In this we can see these J points or Osborn waves. In almost all of the precordial leads. Now this is again an ECG of a patient of hypercalcemia. In this we can see extremely short QT interval, which almost merges with the QRS complex. Bizarre looking QRS, these are bizarre looking QRS, and Osborn waves, as Osborn waves can be seen in the lead V1. So this is definitely a ECG of hypercalcemia. Now coming on to the last electrolyte abnormality, that is magnesium. Normal magnesium levels are 0.85 to 1.1 millimole per liter, or if we talk in milligram per deciliter, these are 1.7 to 2.2 milligram per deciliter. The ECG changes in hypermagnesemia are same as that of hyperkalemia, that is increase in PR interval, prolonged QRS, peaked T waves, flattened P waves, and it can finally lead to complete AV block and asystole. On the other hand, the ECG changes of hypomagnesemia are prolonged PR, prolonged QT interval, atrial and ventricular ectopy can occur, and these can predispose to ventricular tachycardia and torsades de pointes. Thank you so much guys. Kindly like this video to support.